young tennis player at a school, Afrikaans Worst School in Pretoria. Christiaan, how are you today?
Very good, thanks.
Thanks for joining us, but let's start off with, how did you get involved in tennis?
I started probably when I was 4 or 5 years old. We live in Silver Lake, so my mom had a few squads there, and then 2 years later I started going to coaching here at office.
Every athlete, whether they are professional or amateur, will have role models. Who are your role models? It doesn't have to be somebody that's in tennis, it could be somebody in life, but who are your role models?
It's probably tennis-wise Roger Federer, but I met AB a few times and he's definitely one of my biggest role models, AB de Villiers.
Well, he was quite a tennis player himself when he was
Yeah.
at office, I can imagine so. Christiaan, your support base. Every athlete has people who have helped them to get where they are. Who has been your support base?
Definitely the coaching at office that's headed with by Tiens from Rensburg and Pietri as well. And then my uncle Donnie Visser, he has also had a big influence. And then obviously my parents with the financial money. It's a very expensive sport, so they have been massive in my tennis as well.
You are the current office champion, school champion. What are your thoughts on school tennis in South Africa, and how does it develop? How has it helped you to develop as a tennis player?
Well, since even in primary school, we've had tournaments that we have played schools in other provinces, and now especially in office there's 3 big festivals that we go to, and we play against the top high school players in the country, and it's really good competition, and you learn a lot from these festivals, even from grade 8, grade 9, and so it's a very good structure at the moment. Yeah.
You've achieved quite a lot in your young career so far. One thing that stands out is that you were part of the under-16 Davis Cup team that competed in Tunisia. Let's talk a little bit about that experience. How was it playing against international opponents?
It was a very good experience. The 3 of us that went are very good friends, and we were very confident of making to qualify for the World Davis Cup. Unfortunately, the last day we had to beat Egypt, and I won my singles, and the number 1 lost against a very good Egyptian that trains in America. And then in the doubles we had some unlucky fortune that led us to lose the match, and at the end we didn't qualify. But it was really good experience to play on the clay and see the other cultures of the players.
How do our young tennis players rate against overseas opposition?
I'll definitely say they are obviously a bit better, but I feel the talent is pretty much the same. It's just the opportunities that's a bit less. I know I've talked to a few guys, and the Egyptians, even the Egyptians, and I know Italy and all of them, their governments, or I don't know, the tennis government, I guess, sponsors all their travels overseas to play international tournaments. And that's why it's difficult for us, because we have to pay it ourselves if we want to play tennis tournaments overseas, as they get the opportunity by the government. So that's the one thing that I think is holding us a bit back.
Christiaan, let's talk a little bit about your tennis aspirations. I mean, you're still at school, but what would you like to do? Would you like to go professional?
Definitely. I'm starting to train a bit more harder the last term, I would say, this year. But it all depends how it goes next year. If the results come, then I'll definitely be looking at the things I have to do to try and make it. Maybe go to university in America and see how it goes there. But it's definitely a dream I would like to do.
Christiaan, you are a role model and an inspiration yourself. If you had a special message to say to the next generation of young tennis players, what would you say to them?
It is an honor to play tennis, and you should respect the game, and never think you're better than the game, and always enjoy it. And even if you don't make it, what the game does to you is much more if you play it, even if you don't make it.
Game On Magazine would like to thank Christiaan for spending some time with us today. It's been an absolute privilege learning more about you and your love for tennis. So thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.